the next Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, the leader of the Antigua Labour Party. Put your hands together and welcome Gaston Browne. Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremony. Let's hear it for the Dominica Labour Party. I'm sure you can do better. Let's hear it for the Dominica Labour Party. Let's hear it for all of the Labour parties in the Caribbean. Labour run things. Labour rules the Caribbean. Mr. Prime Minister, the Honourable Roosevelt Skerritt, Minister Donville Innes of Barbados, other distinguished guests at the head table, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I am no stranger to Dominica, and it's always a pleasure to be here in the Caribbean's Nature Isle. Today, I bring you greetings from the thousands of Dominicans living in Antigua and Barbuda. Today, I bring you greetings, fraternal greetings from the leadership and membership of the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party. It is a special honor to be at this 2013 conference of the Dominica Labour Party that has presided over the socio-economic transformation of your lovely country. I particularly appreciate the invitation of your leader and Prime Minister, the Honourable Roosevelt Skerritt, to address you at this very important convocation. The Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, which I have the honor to lead, congratulates the people of Dominica and the delegates to this Labour Party conference. We congratulate you for the stalwart support which you have given to the Dominica Labour Party that has brought unparalleled economic growth and development to this country, unparalleled leadership to this country. Let's hear it for Prime Minister Skerritt and the Dominica Labour Party. Let's hear it, man! Our countries, our peoples, and our two Labour parties have been intertwined long before the institutions of Caribbean integration were formally established. It is only natural, therefore, that as our political parties reach milestones in their labors on behalf of the people, we should reach out to each other to exchange ideas, to share experiences, and to devise strategies as to how we could advance our respective countries and serve the interests of our people together. That is why Prime Minister Skerritt invited me here today, and that is why I have come. I have no intention of immersing myself in the domestic politics of Dominica, but I must take this opportunity to endorse my friend, your Prime Minister, the Honourable Roosevelt Skerritt and his team, as the most competent and experienced political team to preside over the continued advancement of Dominica and the Dominican people. You have a proven governance formula that has worked. There is no need to risk a proven formula for a failed experiment. We made that costly mistake in Antigua and Barbuda, and today we are reaping the bitter fruits of rampant unemployment, poverty, corruption, crime, and violence. And I say to you today, do not make that mistake. Mark my words, leadership matters. If you don't believe me, then you ought to familiarize yourselves with the Antiguan and Barbudan experience, where the incompetent UPP regime promised much, but destroyed our economy and our country. The people of Dominica must be assured that there will always be an open-door policy to them in Antigua and Barbuda on their Labour Party administration. And the people of Antigua and Barbuda must be equally assured that Dominicans stand with them shoulder to shoulder. Comrades and friends, we are living in trying times. There are some governments in our region that blame these trying times entirely on economic circumstances in the United States and Europe. But while the winds of economic misfortune have swept through America and Europe, their impact is not the only cause of the difficulties that have been inflicted on our peoples. They are also not the main cause. At the root of the economic wars that destroyed many of our countries are incompetence, rampant corruption, failed policies, and missed opportunities by some governments. In fact, many Caribbean governments, including the one in Antigua and Barbuda, have been loafing on the job. I am happy to say today that yours is not among them. The Dominica Labour Party is not among them. The Dominica Labour Party has performed. Dominica undoubtedly has made significant and measurable strides under the government of the Dominica Labour Party and the leadership of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. That is undoubted. No matter what political side that you're on, the evidence is there to confirm that the Dominica Labour Party and Prime Minister Skerrit have performed. Let's hear it again for them, man. Among the opportunities that many governments have missed and the policies that should have been pursued are regional cooperation and integration. In this regard, your Prime Minister has shown the maturity to rise above the limitations of narrow nationalism to embrace the prospects of wider regionalism. He has done so in many ways, but two of them certainly stand out. Firstly, he committed his government to take up shareholding in Liet, while others unjustifiably sat on the sidelines, content to benefit from its service, but selfishly refusing to contribute to its service delivery. This is a typical example where the commitment in practice of some Caribbean leaders is incongruent to the espoused commitment of Caribbean integration. Secondly, he has had the courage to speak out against those who pay lip service to freedom of movement of people in our one Caribbean. He has pointed out that while our Caribbean brothers and sisters are being denied entry to our countries to contribute their skills, work permits are being issued to persons persons from outside the region. Roosevelt's spirit has stood up for regional causes, and in so doing, he has stood up for the rights and entitlements of Dominicans, of Barbadians, of St. Lucians, of Grenadans, of Antiguans and Barbudans. He has stood up for every single man and woman in the Caribbean. He has shown an example for other leaders to follow. He deserves our appreciation and admiration for putting the people of the Caribbean first. Again, let's hear it for the great man. Let's hear it for Prime Minister Garrett. The insignificance, disrespect, and discriminatory treatment of our Caribbean brothers and sisters in many of our respective member states is no trivial matter. In fact, in many instances, our Caribbean brothers and sisters have been denigrated into an overwhelming sense of undesirable status, of inferiority and unwelcome. This short-sighted, draconian, callous treatment of our Caribbean brothers and sisters and its likely consequence is extremely worrisome. Whereas we all have our individual destinies, as leader of the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, I believe that the collective destiny of our member states should be a federated Caribbean state. A federated Caribbean state, one nation, one people with a common destiny. The time has come for us to commit ourselves to the concept of one nation, one people, and to set a bold vision for a Caribbean federated state. This necessitates that we work relentlessly to advance economic union in ultimate realization of political union in the creation of a federated Caribbean state. The naysayers will say that it will not happen. But today, I say to you without fear of contradiction that notwithstanding the past failures, with the full commitment of the people, it will happen. Let me hear you say it, man. It will happen. There are many prime ministers, including the one in Antigua and Barbuda, who other than lip service, evidently do not share this vision, but instead continue to show intolerance for Caribbean nationals and encourage and practice widespread discrimination against them. In many instances, they conveniently utilize legal and administrative impediments to frustrate the integration movement. Discrimination is a recipe for tribalism and conflict, which our respective countries could ill afford, especially at this time of economic crisis. The reality is, we cannot build a meritocratic Caribbean society on the basis of discrimination. If we are seriously desirous of pursuing and realizing a common destiny of one nation, one people, we must protect and, where applicable, enhance the civil infrastructure, including our attitudes and behaviors to each other, to facilitate full integration and socialization of our Caribbean populations. Social intercourse and integration among all citizens and residents of Caribbean member states should be encouraged in order to propel us to a federated state. This, however, cannot happen without free movement. So I say to all Caribbean leaders, free up the people, man. Let them move. So today, I invite these Caribbean leaders to review and to repudiate all acts of discrimination, to remove all obstacles to free movement, and to commit themselves to the realization of the policy of free movement in realization of our common aspiration for federated Caribbean states. Comrades and friends, in Antigua and Barbuda, The Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, while in government, respected and upheld the principle of an open door policy to our Caribbean brothers and sisters. That is why there's so many Dominicans who have made Antigua and Barbuda their home. Many of them commuting between our two countries. In Antigua and Barbuda, Dominicans enjoy the full rights of residency. They worked, they contributed to the society, and they participated in our democratic systems by a constitutional entitlement to vote in our general elections. And I want to emphasize here, a constitutional entitlement to vote in our general elections. I regret to say that the present government in Antigua and Barbuda is hell-bent in removing that right from Dominicans and other Caribbean nationals who live and work in our society through a process of re-registration of voters that I have more appropriately termed deregistration. The present UPB government is seeking to disenfranchise hard-working and decent Caribbean citizens and residents who have lived in the Antigua and Barbuda society for many years. None of you should entertain the thought for a moment that the position of the present regime reflects the attitude of the majority of the people of Antigua and Barbuda. In the event you do, I say to you this afternoon, perish that thought. The Antigua and Barbuda people are fair-minded. They know that Antiguans and Barbudans in Commonwealth Caribbean countries, including here in Dominica, are entitled to vote in general elections after a determined period of residency. They also know that our Caribbean brothers and sisters who live with us in good times and in bad, in fair weather and foul, are entitled to a voice in how the country is governed. The Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party will not stand for this flagrant violation of our Constitution by the present administration, or for the inherent discrimination against our Caribbean brothers and sisters. We will not stand for it. We stand ready as soon as the government provides evidence of this malevolent act to take it to the courts for adjudication. We will always stand up for what is right. Just as how we are here standing here with you in Dominica as our friends. We not only stand with our friends, but we stand against injustices. Comrades and friends, today the Caribbean exists in troubling times. To survive these times and to overcome them, political parties such as ours need to put people at the front and center of our vision, of our strategies and of our work. Our determination must be to empower our own, to give our people, every man, every woman, every child, the capacity to earn a decent wage, to give to the young men and women the chance of higher education and the opportunity to own property, to get a good education, to endow our nations with the ability to compete globally and to be successful. Nothing less will be acceptable. But to achieve these goals, our political parties and our countries require visionary and vigorous leadership. And that is what you're getting from your Prime Minister, Roosevelt Skerrit. Some of the challenges have to be overcome by national action. Action taken by governments to attract investments. And you heard the Minister Ambrose George. You heard about all of the investments that the Dominica Labour Party has attracted over the years, literally presiding over the socio-economic transformation of this country. That is what you call performance, man. So at the national level, we must continue to attract investments, to create jobs, to improve educational facilities for the young, and health care for the elderly. Our actions also will have to be taken at the regional level, or at least in partnership with sister countries to share burdens, to invest jointly, and to reap benefits collectively. We must collaborate. We must cooperate out of necessity. I see the opportunity for member states to collaborate in seeking financing for public-private sector projects to develop, produce, and market geothermal energy from Dominica and Nevis to other OECS countries and certainly to the neighboring French islands. I see the opportunity for the pooling of resources to achieve great economies of scale and increase viability. The potential benefits that flow from joint investments and production integration among our countries are limited only by the horizons that we place on our own creativity and our willingness to collaborate. As I've said to you before, out of necessity, out of survival, we must collaborate, we must cooperate. Dominica, with its rich and fertile land, could feed many of the countries in the OECS region and Barbados. I share Prime Minister's current vision for the acquisition of refrigerated boats that could ply between the islands, providing fresh fruits and vegetables, thereby reducing the need for less nutritious extra-regional imports. We have the capacity in the region. Let's utilize it. Put our farmers to work. Let them produce. Let us grow what we eat. Let us own what we eat. Let us become self-sufficient. Let us make sure that there is food sovereignty in the Caribbean. We have the capacity so to do. But you know what? We have too many lazy-minded leaders in the region. And for this to happen, you must keep Prime Minister's spirit as the Prime Minister of this country, because guess what? Gaston Browne in Antigua is coming to join him. These are today's dreams, but tomorrow's realities. Tomorrow's realities that will come to fruition with skillful leadership, cooperation, and collaboration between member states. Dominica and many other Caribbean member states, especially Antigua and Barbuda, need leaders with a vision to inspire, the vigor to lead, and the capacity to deliver. The Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party that I have the great privilege to lead is ready to inspire, ready to deliver, not only for the Dominican people, for the Antiguan people, but for all of the Caribbean. We must invest in our young people so that they have pride and confidence in themselves, sufficient to raise them up, to provide them with the opportunity to operate their own businesses and to contribute to the nation's growth. We must build on the natural talent of our people in sports and the performing arts so that they can lift our flags up high at international events and swell our hearts with pride. We must develop all sectors of our respective countries' economies and show the world that though we are small, we are their equal, deserving of recognition and respect. In this undertaking, we are seeking alliances with like-minded organizations, like-minded and competent leaders, and like-minded political institutions. And that is one of the reasons why I stand here before you today, to make sure that my party, the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, is firmly allied to the Dominica Labour Party. We are not hedging. Let it be known by all Dominicans that the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party supports the Dominica Labour Party. And we are proud to do so because they have the experience and the competence to deliver, and they have delivered. you as a government very shortly to develop a dynamic partnership with Browne in Antigua and Skerrit in Dominica. This will bring to fruition projects that will benefit our nations jointly and inspire respect and regard for people in the global community. We in the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party salute you, the comrades of the Dominica Labour Party. You and your government have done much with little. Your capacity to survive despite the odds is an example to all of us. I urge you to continue to stand up for the